What's up, y'all? Alright, we're gonna make another video on how to tan a cowhide. I ain't got no furs right now to flesh out. I got done with all them, so I've got a bunch of cowhides coming up, so I'm gonna teach you how to get one done, and it's a lot of hide. I mean, that's just it folded up, you know, and a lot of it's pretty thick in a lot of areas, but I've got the fleshing wheel. That helps me quite a bit, but I'm just going to go through and just, as I do this, and just explain to you what I've done. You know, unfortunately, I'm going to be talking a little bit as I do this because a lot of the fleshing and everything about this thing takes quite a bit of time to do. So I'm just going to walk you through it and the importance of why I do what I do to these hides. So when I get these hides, they're frozen. Most people will freeze their hide prior to tanning it, just for storage purposes and time frame and things like that. So whenever you get your hide out to start tanning it, it's going to be solid, frozen block. So what you're going to want to do is if it's especially if it's summertime or any kind of warmth outside, just go ahead and make a pickle and put it in there. All right, I have a video on how to tan a beaver tail, talking about how to make a pickle. But if you were doing it for a cowhide, go ahead and get 30 gallons. I used to use a 55-gallon barrel. 30 gallons of water, 1 pound of water per gallon. I'm sorry, 1 pound of salt per gallon of water. And if you're using like a no harm pickling acid from somewhere like True Bond or McKenzie's, it's just a half an ounce of acid per gallon of water. And so that would be 15 ounces of acid. Now, if you want to use citric acid, you can order citric acid from McKenzie's or Van Dyke's or True Bond, or you can go get it at a Walmart. You might be able to get it at bulk at like Sam's Club or Costco, something like that. Citric acid is 3 ounces of citric acid per gallon of water. So whatever 3 times 30, that's how much citric acid you need. It's a lot of citric acid. I would prefer to go and get the no harm pickling acid from True Bond. I use all True Bond products, so that's where I go get it at. It's good price, and it holds its acidity a lot longer than citric acid does. Okay, so now you got your pickling bath made, and you got your block of hide, and you just put it in there. Put something heavy on it to keep it under there. It's going to thaw in there. The reason why you really want to do this is because if you try to let it thaw outside of that pickle, it could be okay. You could get away with it, but oftentimes that fur will slip. The fur that's exposed to the outside that thaws first, it's exposed to bacteria much longer than the hide that's in the center of the frozen block. All right, so it's safe in the pickle. There's no bacteria in there. It's super acidic. You're going ahead and getting your pickling process somewhat started. It is going to plump up the skin just a little bit. So whenever you do go to flesh this thing, whether you have a fleshing wheel, if you got, maybe you have a mini flesher, or maybe you just have the old school fleshing knife, or just a regular knife. If you don't know what a fleshing knife is, check them out on Amazon. It's a two-handled blade used for fleshing critters. That's how I started off doing it, but now I've got more hides to do, so I just went ahead and got this thing. You're going to want to get it thawed out in the pickle, and what I like to do is I have a rack that I have a frame with chicken wire going across and joists going across it, and I lay the hide out after it's thawed out. With the first side up and flesh side down. And what I do is I completely rinse it off, put a little Dawn dish soap on it, and really agitate that soap in there. Got a little scrubber, I scrub that soap in there just to get this fur cleaned up, get all the mud, poop, all the dirt and debris as much off as possible. You know, we want to go ahead and start the process of cleaning this thing up. We're going to do a few other things to it along the way to make sure it's clean, but yeah. So get it on there, let it dry just a little bit, you know, let it hang, whatever you got. whatever you've got to elevate this thing off the ground to where it can drain. However you decide to do it, it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be done. Once you get it dry enough and it's not just gonna slip in your hands, you know, but it's not too dry. You don't want to dry this thing out and try to flush it. I promise you. You need some moisture in there, all right? But if it's too wet, it's gonna be really hard to, for whatever blade. It doesn't matter if you have this. I mean, this will do it, but it does make it harder. But it's just gonna be slimy and your blade ain't gonna be able to cut it. You know, it's like that slimy stuff just grabs a hold of your blade. So let it dry just a little bit. We're gonna get this thing fleshed and we're gonna salt it for 24 hours, and then we're gonna put it back into the pickle that we originally thawed it out in, and we'll go from there, okay? I'll end up showing you what this looks like once it's fleshed out. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll give you a little visual on what it looks like to flesh these things. So you can see that right there. All right, let's see what that looks like. See, that's what we took off. We just took off that outside. That way we can expose the skin. You can see that. So now we've got to sit here and do this to the entire thing. And I mean, it's going to take some time. It could take a few hours to sit here and flush this entire hide. It doesn't matter what you've got. You got to get that membrane off. All right. You just got to get it off, and it's thick on a cowhide. So however long it takes you, just let it take that long. Don't try to rush it, because if you do, you're gonna put a hole in it. You know, you're not gonna get everything if you do it. Don't do this on a cowhide if you ain't got time to do it. You know, it's a good Saturday, it's a good weekend. Whatever day your weekend's on, it's a good weekend project, the fleshing part. Everything else after that's pretty good. But we'll get it fleshed out and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, y'all. We got it all fleshed out. Starting to dry a little bit. And so we have it roughly fleshed out. See that big old slit there? That's where the butchers were on the kill floor when they was harvesting the cow and taking the hide off. They cut a big old slit in it by mistake. But I'll get that sewed back up. But you know, there's spots like right here. My flushing machine was trying to eat off into it, so that's not too bad of membrane, so we're going to leave it for now. We do know that you know, we're going to salt this thing, get as much liquid that's in the hide, natural liquids, out, and then tomorrow we're going to put it in a rehydration bath and a degreasing bath, and then we're going to put it back on this frame and we're going to rinse it off. With all that being said, all these flawed areas like that right there, okay, little things like that, like that's membrane right there, it's all got to come off. It all needs to look like this, and it will. But so the first flesh, I always call it a rough flesh, and that's just so the salt can penetrate and that the pickle can get in there the first 2 days. I just say that just so you know that you don't have to get it just right the first time. You want to get freaking close. You want to get as close as you can to getting all of it off. It is a big hide. It took me like 5 hours to flesh it this time, and we'll go back over it and I'll show you how we do that. And yeah, so the next step after fleshing your hide is just I just got some salt in the bucket here, but I'm just going to show you on this one spot. You just want to get it about like that across the whole thing, okay? You just want to cover the whole thing with about that much salt. See, I can still see the hide there, but it's okay, because all I'm trying to do is just draw out a little bit of moisture. That's it. And we're going to let it sit here for 24 hours, and then we'll put it in the degreaser tomorrow, and I'll explain everything that I use and all the chemicals and everything like that. Okay, so that is the first step in tanning your own cowhide. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos like this. because I got a lot of work coming up ahead and got a lot of knowledge that I'd like to share with you. So check me out, and we can check out some cool hides.